And no one told me about her, the way she lied. And no one told me about her, how many people died. Now it's too late to say I'm sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? So please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Ooh, nobody told me about her. What could I do? No one told me about her. Though they all knew that it's too late to say I'm sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she was, the way she acted, the color of her hair. The voice was something smooth, the eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there. But it's too late to say I'm sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? So please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she was, the way she acted, the color of her hair. Her voice was something smooth, her eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.
Okay, boomer, whatever you say, boomer. 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 BOOMER, please, your dusty mood don't vibe with me. You are old and so therefore I must say 10 for dinosaur. Hey. Okay, boomer, whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer, whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer, whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Okie dokie, boomer.
Oh my God, Chanda, what the
We
hell?
made it! Oh my gosh, we made it! Yay!
Yeah,
It's
we did
so good
make
to
it.
be
I,
back.
I, are we here? Are we actually here? That's my question.
We are here. We have had an incredibly difficult week of
Oh, shit.
audio hell and tech hell, and Oz got us through it.
I
100%.
wish I
Here we
could
are.
say the same about Fiorella's show on Saturday. I just that was a crash and burn audio wise, and I want to thank
What
everybody
happened?
who was trying to help in the chat over there. She did have a real time technician. That was me, but it was one of those rare times when I could not fix the audio to save my life. So
Which
it
I've
happens.
very rarely seen that happen to you.
Yeah, that
So
was a nightmare. It was there was all kinds of problems because I had to switch studios on a dime. I had 2 minutes to do it and just didn't work out, guys. So I do apologize to Fiorella and I
tough.
apologize to everybody who was trying to listen to that show. There was nothing I could do. I'm
Yeah.
sincerely sorry, and Shanda knows how I'm obsessive compulsive about shit. And
Very obsessive compulsive.
that crap makes me crazy because we've got the best tech and great internet and everything else here, and it's just tough. But anyway, I'm gonna quit crying about it, and I'm gonna say
Crash and burns
hi.
happen. Take it off.
Crash and
Dust
burn.
yourself off.
I am. I am. I felt like I got bucked off a Bronco on Saturday. Snow Leopard's in the house. Yo to ya mofos. Yes, Snow Leopard, you were first in the house.
Yummo.
Red Angel, good to see you, Red Angel. Cold Fusion Gaming, thanks for the help this
Hey,
week. We
Rick.
appreciate that so much. Kamshwari, Kate, Popeye the Sailor Man.
Made it.
We've got
Bye.
Anthony's in the house. Good
Hey,
to
Anthony.
see you here, Anthony, as usual. Longtime supporters there. We've got Retro Gamer. Good to see you, Gamer. Cowboy Kitty. Becca C. Evening, Becca C. How are you?
Becca.
Two Bunnies is in the house. Deborah Grossbach. Good to see you. Fingerman, what's going on? Barbara. Hey, Barbara. Barbara's in the house. Let me see. Steve G is in the house. Sean Miller. Good to see you. Let me see. I'm getting down to the end here, I hope. Robert Templeton, always a pleasure. Peace, Dove. Peace.
Dove.
Peace, Dove. I have a cover of Liar, and I will figure out a way to get it and play it for you. It's really good. Love Three Dog Night. Hard to find good
Yeah.
covers. Let me see. You got Sean
Oh,
Miller.
we should
Jelly's
do.
in
Let's
the
do a
house.
Moody Blues week. We need some Moody Blues.
I feel like a Moody Blues week.
Yeah.
Jelly Love is in the house. Hi, Jelly.
Jelly.
Becca C with the super chat. Anyone else a little freaked out about April 8th, or am I silly? And howdy chat. Shanda, tell them how you feel about April 8th.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, if something happens on April 8th, they did it. And you know who they are.
They did
Those
it.
Luciferian frickin' Satanists, also known as our government. So
Hmm.
I'm just going to throw it out there and say, I don't think anything's going to happen. How many times did they dupe us up? Come on, we lived through Y2K. We lived through the apocalypse of 2012. We lived through COVID. We'll be okay, I swear.
I hope
swear.
so. I hope so. This Cascadia fault's under my feet. So if
Yeah,
it does,
the earthquakes has got me a little freaked out because my ass is sitting out here on the Wanda Fuca plate that's been loaded like a spring and ready to go for overdue for 60, 70 years.
that's all right.
Like
It'll
that.
take us both out at the same time. What a way to end
Yeah.
Beauty
I
and the
might just
Boomer.
freaking bring it on. After the week I had, I was
Oh
just
my
like, come
God,
on.
no shit. It's been one right after another after another. You guys can't imagine.
But hey, don't I look marvelous tonight? What's different? I got a new camera that can track me and it keep
Yeah,
up with me.
you
No more
looking
blurry
styling.
camera.
yeah, I don't look
Yeah.
half bad either, and I'm on my right seat, which makes me very happy.
I
Um,
have an amazing tech guy who knows what the hell he's doing, and I have the most state-of-the-art studio probably of just about anybody but you.
Yeah, and we want to thank everybody who's helped us get those
Yes,
things.
thank
We
you.
would rather keep this show going than taking a trip to the grocery store sometimes, because that's a pain in the ass. It'll give you a coronary as well. Rick Solis is in the house. DC, good to see you.
Hey, DC.
Let me see. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. I'm running out of time. We got to start the show. I think I did. I got everybody, Shanda. Who's over on the fin? Do you know, or do I need to look?
Well, yeah, I got the fin up. I'm totally discombobulated. Things are going to be different for me for a couple of days, so hang tight with me. Anyways, Crone of Heresy is hanging out over on the rock fin with Anna Maris. Hey, Anna. Jim's over there, along
Jim.
with Fred Edward. Hey, Fred, how's it going?
Fred.
I took a gnarly pull off of my vape pen like an hour ago, and I dried my lungs and throat. Y'all know what I'm talking about out there. Now I'm feeling a little froggy. Zoxovoxovix was first in over on the Rock bin, and then Rumble, we got Lost 66 and Ghost Start hanging out with Shane Piper 69 and a Dingo Ate Me Baby and 420 Bacchus. Barbasus, right? Yeah.
I'm glad you
Barbasus.
got those. I can't speak. So
Wow, I feel like I can't tonight, man. I'm not kidding. I harshed my lungs out.
I got to catch one more over on YouTube. Natalie Williams, always a pleasure to see you. You've been with us forever
Hey,
as
Natalie.
well.
Yeah,
So,
you guys
really
are.
do
This is
appreciate-
fam, man. I've met so many of you in real life, and just these are fams here. But I got a couple hanging out over on the trailer park. Let's see,
Yay.
Julie stopped by there, along with
Jill.
Rich from
Rich.
Wisconsin.
Rich
and,
from Wisconsin.
El Rogue, is that what it is?
I
El
don't
Rogue.
know. I don't know. We don't have our Ninja Chat in yet. We'll put that in one of these days.
I know Ninja Chat's coming next, guys, but the Stream Deck's working. The Shadowcast is grabbing. Like, I'm rolling out in my new studio on Monday morning for
Yeah.
the apocalypse. Let's do this.
Yeah, for sure. If you'd like to help us out, of course, we can always use a Patreon
please.
for sure. That is always helpful, especially after the week we've had. Incurred a couple of extra little expenses that we weren't quite ready for, but we said, what the hell? Let's make it happen. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, that's the best way, I think. Don't you think that's the best way to go, Shanda?
Yeah, I got some Joey's coffee not too long ago, thanks to
Yeah.
Miss Kate, and
Yeah.
I've been savoring it. Like, I'll make myself one pot a week.
Yeah.
Nope, you're getting U-Ban today. It's like,
oh, God,
everything
you
good.
Ben, that isn't coffee. That's parts cleaner. I mean, Jesus Christ. Oh.
Hey, it was good enough for Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, Joey would scold you. That would hurt her heart to hear you say you have U-band. That's really not.
Well,
what
come on,
she
what's
would-
next? Folgers? It's just as bad, right?
Yeah, Folgers. Captain Janeway liked Folgers for you.
Well, it doesn't matter because they're taking coffee away from the pores. I did a report
Oh, yeah.
on it sometime last
Absolutely.
week, right? like,
absolutely.
no more pores.
Yeah.
Do you realize how much CO2 is going into the atmosphere every time you drink a cup of coffee? Like,
Meanwhile, we're taking off in our big jet and we're just blowing everything to bits. So
don't
there
worry,
you go.
they'll replace it with pharmaceutical meth, so it won't be a problem to wake up.
We have a terrific outro tonight for those boomers and those of you who are into retro music. And it is going to be, who is going to be tonight? It is going to be Toto, classic Toto.
Toto.
And this is our exit reel cover card for tomorrow. It will premiere at 10:15 on the YouTube. So if you like Toto
Nice.
and you want to hear it again, that's when it will happen. I hope you guys are enjoying those exit reels. I'm getting some pretty good feedback on them. So far, I haven't fucked them up too bad. So, yeah, that's Shanda next to her Witcher
Good job.
man there. So she's a big
Yeah, this
Witcher
was a
fan.
the thing that happened during this week's crazy. Mercury's retrograde, so everything that can go wrong could go wrong. And I wanted to pull a little bit of the orange tones out of my hair, and I ended up with gray hair like Witcher. So
There you go, bragging about your hair again. God, that's a backhanded
bragging
bragging.
about my hair.
Bragging
I'm
about your
complaining
hair.
about my hair.
Yeah, and I wish I had hair to complain about. So
Yours looks marvelous.
oh, thank you so much. This is the number one wig that I
Did you
use
blow dry
all the
that
time.
or air dry it?
No, I just kind of I let the dog play with it, and that he shakes it out. That's how he does it. So
Darwin just shakes it out for
yeah,
you.
yeah, and then Missy has her way with it. I don't know about Missy, though. She's doing some weird things with that. We have got the first up in the deck today. We got all our announcements out, I think. So what's this all about?
Well, this happened this week, right?
Uh-huh.
A lot of people are saying that it's biblical, and we're seeing a lot of biblical shit lately. You got to admit, we really are. I mean, the locusts crawling out of every crack and crevice, earthquakes everywhere. We got the Statue of Liberty literally got hit by lightning and by an earthquake all in 24 hours.
I wonder if it's going to come
Somebody
alive.
might be trying to tell us something.
Yeah, I don't know. These happenstances. But, I worry about April 8th like I worry about every day I get up and go to bed. So it's nothing new.
My
Surprised
only thing is, fuck, I don't want them to take the internet away. I'm going to miss
Well,
you guys
that's
so
gonna-
much.
like I said, we're going to be gardening when they take the internet away. So that's all
That's
we
true.
can do.
I'll miss you guys for a while, and then I'll be out digging in the dirt, and I'll be like, why did I ever want to live online?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Says the stream's healthy. How's the stream, guys? We've got new settings tonight that we're trying.
As long as it doesn't have COVID.
That worked out so great today. And now, not so much. You brought Nico. You brought a hotspot with Nico. What's going on?
Well,
with
we haven't. So I took most of the week off because I was doing spring break with my grandchildren. I had them from Tuesday till this morning. So it's been a little chaotic and hectic, but a good chaotic and hectic. And of course, we haven't had a chance to cover the World Central Kitchen murders.
Fuck. Murder, slaughter,
'Cause-
yeah.
Slaughters. Yeah, this is just insane. And I wanted to bring Nico hotspot. I think he's doing a great job. So
He's got
you
the
know,
energy for it. More power
I've
to
been
him.
around Nico. We've been in the same space with Nico for many, many, many years. Like I was in contact with Nico all the way back to 2016.
Yeah,
so
Nico,
to see him,
Convo, yeah.
evolve and get to this point, I love it because I think that it's so powerful. These short little bursts of info and truth just thrown at you, right? So if we can share them and promote them, I will.
Yeah. And Robert Templeton, the Statue of Liberty can be animated. So I will think about that sometime. Here we go. Nico House doing a hotspot.
Israel just killed 7 members of the World Central Kitchen that were delivering aid to Gaza in missile strikes that they claimed were unintentional. Now, the World Central Kitchen is a neutral nonprofit that goes to front lines and provides fresh meals. And so far, they've provided over 350 million meals to people who've needed all around the world. And of course, the company was with a certain sense of urgency because right now it's Ramadan and they're trying their hardest to get these meals to the Palestinians in Gaza who've been fasting all day and are trying to celebrate their holiday. Now, of course, the sad truth is we're actually used to Israel killing civilians, bombing volunteers, bombing journalists, whoever. But this particular case is truly disturbing. Before we even get into the particulars about what happened, let's talk about the fact that the Mossad tried to blame Hamas out the gate for what took place. They tried to say it appears that they were killed by a bomb planted on the side of the road by Hamas. For real, bro? And hell, maybe if this was a bomb that accidentally exploded that Israel planted on the side of the road, not knowing what route they were taking, this wouldn't
Look
be
at that
so bad.
precision.
But it's
Oz.
actually much more nefarious.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said in the
American
beginning,
might.
Netanyahu said that they didn't really mean to kill all those volunteer workers.
But he's
Yeah,
smiling.
sure.
Look at that
According to
fucking smile
Haaretz,
on his face.
Yeah.
Israeli
Piece of shit.
news publication, they knew that those cars were marked. They knew the organization that those cars belonged to. They knew that those workers were volunteers. They only even looked into what was happening because there was supposedly one armed man that they believed was a terrorist. Oh, but it gets better because before the WCK decided to leave on their approved route, a safety route approved by Israel,
Yeah.
the armed man left the vehicle and never
He was even
left the
with them.
warehouse. In other words, none of those vehicles had the man that initiated the suspicions of Israel. And even though they knew that armed man was not with the volunteers on that route that Israel approved, they shot a missile and hit them anyway. Oh, but when the first missile didn't destroy all 3 of the vehicles, and then the people who have managed to escape the first missile strike switched vehicles, they shot another one. Oh, but when that didn't do the job, even though that armed man still isn't there and they're still on the approved route, they went ahead and shot another one, just in case. And I need y'all to understand this wasn't about killing a few workers who were intent on helping get aid and food to Gaza. This was actually about preventing tons of aid from getting to Gaza. Because after this strike, all the boats turned around and the WCK had to cancel all operations in Gaza. 240 tons
That's
of
what
aid
they wanted.
would
Yep.
no longer be reaching the mouths that need it. But sure, let's let Netanyahu
This
lie to
was
our
a means to a
fucking
couple of
faces
different
again and pretend like this wasn't intentional and that wasn't his goal. These people are
He can't even hold back his fucking smile.
and they really deserve everything that they got coming to them.
Yeah, they deserve everything they got coming to them.
And
But
they
I
got
think
it
that there
coming to
was
them.
2 things that they really wanted. Okay, so this got WCK out of feeding, Palestinians, which is
Oh, sure.
a plus for Israel, right? But it also incensed Iran, right?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's eventually gonna step up and say enough of this fucking shit, and that's what Israel wants. And why? So they could call their big brother, the USA, into this fucking fight, and that's ultimately what it's
Yeah,
about.
you
is
better
getting us
call
women.
call your congressional reps, your senators, and everything, and tell them, don't you fucking dare. And use my words.
They're owned
Don't
by
you
AIPAC.
fucking dare.
They're owned by AIPAC. They don't care what you say to them. They
I know they don't,
answer
but
to
put the
you.
pressure
They
on 'em.
answer to the people who
Put-
give them money and keep them in those spots.
Put the pressure on them. Just keep putting the pressure on them. That's the least we can do. And you know, they don't give a shit. But you know what? What goes around comes around. I had some shithead Zionist piece of shit say, "Oh, well, it was at night and they couldn't see." And I said, you know what? I've got a $100 set of night vision binoculars, and I can see just about anything. The money, the taxpayer dollars, the money they print up that they send to Israel all the time, will buy them night vision equipment and targeting equipment that is 1,000 times better than my goddamn binoculars. So don't even
but
come at me
us,
with that bullshit,
That
you
money
morons.
stays here at home.
Oh,
where
fuck
we
that.
make the bombs.
That we don't deserve the money or the jobs when it's murdering babies. Jesus Christ. This is terrible. God, get me off this. I'm on my soapbox, Chanda. You're going to get me.
Oh, well, I brought Kirby because this is what Kirby had to say about it.
And this guy's one of the biggest pieces of shit in Washington, D.C.
Oh, I know he triggers you. That's why.
Oh, my God. No wonder Pasta was mad at me for
The President
refacing.
on February 8th issued a memo, and it said, and you already know this, but just for context, it said that it was the policy of this administration to prevent arms transfers that risk facilitating or otherwise contributing to violations of human rights or international humanitarian law. Is firing a missile at people delivering food and killing them not a violation of international humanitarian law?
Well, the Israelis have already admitted that this was a mistake that they made. They're doing an investigation. They'll get to the bottom of this. Let's not get ahead of that.
The fog of war.
Your question.
They'll get to the
presumes,
bottom
this
of it,
word
my
earlier,
ass,
that it
Kirby.
was
Shit
a
happens in
deliberate
war.
strike,
That's
that
what
they
they're
knew
trying to
exactly
say.
What they were hitting,
War,
that they
what
were
can you
hitting aid
do?
workers and did it on purpose, and there's no evidence of that.
They didn't do
I
it
would
on
also remind you,
purpose.
sir, that we continue to look at incidents as they occur. The State Department has a process in place.
Fuck
And to
you.
date, as you and I are speaking, they have not found any incidents.
And he's grinning
where
too.
the
Look at
Israelis
him
have
grin.
Violated international
Yeah.
humanitarian law. Unless
they
you
love
think
to
we
lie
don't
to
take
us.
it seriously, I can assure you that we do. We look
No,
at
you
this in
don't.
real time.
They have never violated
We look at this in
international
real
humanitarian
time.
law ever in the past 5 to 6 months.
I'm telling you, the State Department has looked at incidents in the past and has yet to determine that any of those incidents violate international humanitarian law.
Ah!
Nothing they do violates international frickin' law, does it?
I
So,
told-
the New York Post wants you to know why Hamas is responsible for the death of the WCK.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And the pits of hell are going to be filled with this generation of scumbag monsters like Kirby and Netanyahu and Biden and the rest of them, Blinken. So just keep that in mind. Like you
Well,
said.
the gates of hell might be opening on Monday because of CERN. You know, I saw a joke in the chat. Steve Guy says, "I'm not that concerned with April 8th." Yeah, we'll see.
You brought over
Today, I spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu to emphasize that strikes on aid workers and the humanitarian situation in Gaza are unacceptable. Israel must implement steps to address civilian harm and the safety of workers and work towards a ceasefire to bring hostages home. So, yeah, now there's a lot of CIA talking points out there that
That's
Biden
embarrassing
and
coming
Benji
from
have
the
broken
president of the
up.
United States. No nuts, no glory. That was worse than a strongly worded letter. So
Oh, but they're on the outs. Everybody on the inside who's in the know is going to tell you that Biden's putting his foot down with Netanyahu.
fuck his
He's
foot. He
standing
could-
up to him.
stick his foot up his own ass, piece of shit.
I listened to that today in some interview. I was like, what the fuck
Jesus
are you talking
Christ.
about?
Then you brought this one, just cheered me up even more.
I'm a complete failure, and you know it. Yeah, absolutely. Biden administration set to greenlight $18 billion sale of F-15 jets to Israel. I
How
guess he's
nice.
not calling it off anyways.
How nice. And this gentleman was, I saw this gentleman.
This is
speaking.
one of the volunteers with
Was he
the-
with, was he in the
I
attack?
don't think he was in the attack.
Okay,
don't
but
think
he
he
was well
was.
aware of everything that was going on.
Yeah.
So, okay.
What I know is that we were targeted deliberately.
Yeah, he was in there.
Okay, he
Non-stop.
was in it.
Until everybody was dead in this convoy. This happened over more than 1.5, 1.8 kilometers. So this was not just bad luck situation where, we dropped the bomb in the wrong place or no.
No,
this
they were
was
chasing him down
over
with them.
1.5,
Fucking
1.8
They were tracking 'em.
kilometers with a very defined humanitarian convoy that had signs in the top, in the roof. That cannot be the role of an army. That cannot be the role of an army that has hundreds of drones above Gaza.
No,
in
they're
every single moment.
executioners.
Yeah,
Humanitarians and civilians should never be paying the consequences of war. This is a basic principle of humanity. At the time, this looks like it's not a war against terrorism.
It's not a
anymore.
war.
Seems this is a war against humanity itself.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's a war against humanity itself.
Yeah.
What's this shit? Tragic mistake shit? What's that all about?
Foreign policy. Tragic mistake. U.S. determines that the Cabal drone strike killed innocent aid workers and 9 family members. So the revelation comes after 1 week after New York Times investigation determines the targets actually worked for American aid organizations, meaning it was Americans. And quick note, the ADL says, if you criticize Israel, you're a terrorist.
Bullshit. Fuck Israel.
Yeah, fuck the ADL.
Yeah, and fuck the ADL too, and fuck APAC and all the rest of them. Well, Joe
all
Biden.
all those lettered agencies.
Yeah, they're all scumbags. You know,
They're all
I'm glad
scumbags.
I'm not younger. I'd be in trouble. I really would be.
We're too tired to rise up.
Yeah, I'm not healthy enough. I'm doing
We
what
are
I can.
rising up. This is our
Shooting
form of
my
rising
mouth
up.
off here. Max Blumenthal, Joe Biden declared in January that if you harm an American, we will respond. Israel now has murdered Jacob Flickinger, a U.S. military veteran and aid worker, in a targeted triple tap drone strike. Triple tap drone strike. That's boom, boom, boom. Those were targeted. Biden responded by calling Flickinger's killers to investigate themselves. Oh, that's such a good idea,
Yeah.
President Biden. Investigate yourself, you idiot. I don't
It
know
always
how.
works out well when they investigate themselves.
I'm
right?
so
They
sick of
always
this.
find they did nothing wrong. It's kind of
This
weird.
sock puppet is just unbelievably ridiculous. And I brought this one from Lila, Punch Up Pod over there, Purity Tester. Talia Jane says, you call yourself a feminist, women are dying in Gaza, you fucking coward. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton confronted the anti-genocide protesters Wednesday after hosting yet another fundraiser. We've got this down in the deck. But I wanted to bring Lila. We've had her on the show. We like Lila. These protesters are giving me life. Thank you for your service. Not one of these genocidal maniacs should know a moment of peace for the rest of their lives. Here, Lila, 100%. And that includes, if not especially, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Blinken, and the rest of these scumbags.
The whole goddamn DNC for sure.
All of them. They're just terrible. By the way, I wanted to remind everybody that the Democrats are prohibition on mass cancellation eligible to upgrade flight education and training program loans. The Secretary of the Treasury or the Attorney General may not be able to take any action or cancel and forgive the outstanding balances of portions of balances of any federal direct unsubsidized Stanford loans or other wise modified terms and conditions of federal direct unsubsidized staff loans made to an eligible student except as authorized by an act of Congress. You get where they're going with this. And the debt collector said Congress wants to make student debt collection cancellation illegal specifically. And this was buried in the middle of a 1,000-page bill, an omnibus bill
Like
that has to
always.
do with the air transportation or something with the air. The bill's number is Senate Bill 1939. And it's in the Library of Congress. And this excerpt was from page 733, and this once again this shows you these assholes don't read these bills before they trumpet them, and they don't anyway because they're told not to. They're told just what to support and what not to support. So keep
Well, yeah,
that in
because
mind.
in and amongst all that, there's some money wove in there for fucking a bunch of shit that the American people don't actually support. So that's
Oh
what
yeah,
the lobbyists are for.
That's they got to bring home the bacon, so they'll put a library or a fucking zoo or something, or build a bridge to hell or something, and they'll put it in there. And
then they'll knock it down.
or the worst one was fund the government. So we had to give them we didn't have to give them shit, but they funded Ukraine and Israel in that last bill. Otherwise, the government wouldn't have any money. They wanted a border crisis too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and let us not forget, wasn't it Pelosi who told us that Biden does have the power or doesn't have the power? Who told us he had the power to fucking forgive student loans?
Pelosi.
Yeah, they were all fucking gaslighting, oh yeah, he can do that. No, he can't
They
do
were
that. We got told that constantly.
they were talking out of both sides of their mouth. One day they'd say one
The
thing, and the
Dems?
next day
No
they
way.
said another one. That's the Dem way, and the Dems have devolved into these gutter snipes anymore. They're not worth a shit. They were barely the party of labor back in the 90s, but now they're the party of the donor class. Yeah,
Well, that's not just contained to the Democratic Party anymore. Thanks to RFK Jr.'s revolutionary campaign, now independents can be just as corrupt as the DNC.
Yep,
You'll see.
abso-frickin-lutely. So don't come at me with RFK Jr. is a good choice. He's an evil fucker like the rest of them. Vote tactically. I don't give a shit, and I really don't give a shit who you vote for, but vote tactically. Be smart. What you brought this APAC tracker, right? I didn't bring this one, did I?
Nope, it's yours.
It's mine. Elizabeth Warren, Netanyahu's bombing campaign, blocking of humanitarian aid and hospital raids have devastated people in Gaza. Senator Jeff Merkley, Van Hollen, Welch, Durbin, and I are urging the Biden administration to do more to deliver life-saving medical needs. All 5 of these senators voted to cut UNRWA funding, and that's the group that's trying to deliver the goddamn aid, you dumb assholes. So it's like they
but
think
Elizabeth Warren will just tell the people that, and because hey, she has Bailey and she knows how to drink a beer and be relatable.
Oh, Jesus
the people
Christ.
will continue to vote for her every 6 years, whatever.
She's horrible. She's horrible. She's a coward and she's a liar, and she has done this in front of us many, many times. And speaking of liars and scumbags, this is one of our favorite ones to pick on, and any of you that are Bernie Sanders fans, give it a rest. Stick a fork in it. It's just not worth it. Here you go.
That's why I'm
Cute little
supporting
photo
Joe,
shoot.
and I hope you will as well.
Yeah, I think
He's
Joe
laughing because Joe's touching. He's all shit.
Yeah,
He's
don't
touching
sniff me, Joe. Don't sniff me, Joe. I would rather support the two puppets there instead of those 2 puppets. That's just it's incredible.
Definitely.
People are buying this shit. Bernie says what we want to hear, never acts on it. The guy, he just likes bending the knee to everything. So you brought
At this point, he's just trying to get out with as much money, I think, as he can, and still pretend like he has
wants
integrity.
his legacy. He doesn't want to be drummed out of Congress like they kicked Dennis Kucinich out. So that's just what it is.
Hey, go Dennis. Dennis is running again.
Yeah, more power to him. I don't know why he wants to run a corrupt system, but go for it. You brought this. This is memes. That are
Oh, yeah, this is your government drone bombing you.
Yeah,
spying
this is
on you.
great. 3 minutes ago. So, and you brought this.
No, go back.
What? I don't have anything.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
I
back,
got to
hit
play this. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah.
In 2021, the commander of Israeli intelligence published a book on designing a special machine that would resolve what he described as a human bottleneck for locating and improving targets in war. A recent investigation by Plus 972 magazine and Local Call reveals that the Israeli army has developed an artificial intelligence-based program known as Lavender, which does exactly that. According to 6 Israeli intelligence officers with first-hand experience, the Lavender AI machine determined who to kill and was obeyed with military discipline. During the first weeks of the war, the Lavender system designated about 37,000 Palestinians as targets and directed airstrikes on their homes. Despite knowing that the system makes errors about 10% of the time, there was no requirement to check the machine's data.
Not a problem.
The Israeli army systematically attacked the targeted individuals at night, in their homes while their whole family was present. An automated system known as Where's Daddy was used to track
Jesus
the targeted
Christ.
individuals and carry
Good
out
God.
when they entered their families' residences. The obvious result was that thousands of women and children were wiped out by Israeli airstrikes. According to these Israeli intelligence officers, the IDF them in homes as a first option, and on several occasions, entire families were when the actual target was not inside. In one instance, 4 buildings were destroyed along with everyone inside because a single target was in one of them. When it came to targets marked as low level by the AI Lavender system, cheaper bombs were used, which destroyed entire buildings, civilians, and entire families. This was done because the IDF did not want to waste expensive bombs on who they deemed as unimportant people. It was decided that for every low-level Hamas operative that Lavender marked, it was permissible to kill up to 15 or 20 civilians. And if the target was a senior Hamas official, more than 100 civilians was acceptable. Most of these AI targets were never tracked before the war. The Lavender software analyzed information collected on the 2.3 million residents of the Gaza Strip through a system of mass surveillance, assessed the likelihood of each person being a militant, and gave a rating from 1 to 100. If the rating was high enough, then they were along with their entire family. Lavender flagged individuals who had patterns similar to Hamas, including police, civil defense, relatives, and residents who had similar names and nicknames. This sort of tracking system has existed in the U.S. for years.
You notice how they muted the M word through that whole video.
And the B word, bombs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're trying not to get smacked around on YouTube. But that was important information that a lot of people hadn't heard, that they are employing AI with mass surveillance of your data. And we know they've been doing it here thanks to the likes of Edward Snowden and Julian Assange, right?
Yep. What do you think they're doing with your data every time you send in MyHeritage or this other shit? They've got you nailed, man. They got it in your phones. They got it in your TV. They got it in your computer. I just throw my hands up in the air. Yeah, it is what it is. Sorry, I got trigger happy on that last one. I didn't see the play button.
Good. But I thought it was important. That was an important clip.
It
That's
was
why I wanted you to
important.
go
It was
back.
very important. What is this one?
The New World Order is closer than it appears. Yeah, it's
not
very
a
close.
surprise.
Not a surprise.
Meanwhile, on the home front, we've got this kind of shit to listen to. And got to tell you, John Bolton, not my favorite guy in the world. This is not Gaza versus Israel war or Palestinian versus Israel war. This is an Iranian war against Israel fought through terrorist proxies. The fact that Iran has not been held to account for any of it suggests we're still in the early stages of war. If people do not, and it goes, I'm just going to play this, but this asshole, this monster, was one that suggested a while back to take out, several floors of the UN. Remember that. And he is a monster. He's an animal. He's just everything. He's a poster boy for a war pig next to a couple others out there.
Oh, God,
let me see if I can see what I got here.
I haven't seen this clip.
I spoke to former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton about what could happen next. I asked about the Biden administration's handling of the war and whether Israel will be held accountable for the death of the World Central Kitchen aid workers. We also spoke about what that Israeli airstrike in Syria could mean for regional security. Listen in.
This is not a Gaza versus Israel war or a Palestinian versus Israel war or an Arab versus Israel war. This is an Iranian war against Israel.
You fucking monster. Monster.
And
all about getting
and the fact
Iran
that
in the
Iran
war.
has not yet been held to account for any of it suggests that we're still in the very early stages of the war. Now, we'll see what happens. But I think if people don't see the strategic reality that Iran is drawing what it calls its ring of fire strategy around Israel, which it also calls...
I'm going to cut that. I'm not going to run the whole thing. That pig doesn't deserve your attention.
Yeah,
he is.
For
He
sure.
is the worst. The worst monster. He needs to go crawl under a rock and stay there. Speaking,
he's never met a war he didn't like.
speaking, we've had some drama this week in our lane of independent media, and people were calling some other sisters and brothers dummies and idiots and things like this.
People calling us names again.
You got to, not us, but you got to stop that, you guys. Focus on the big prize. Now, the real idiot here is this fuckface. Now, here, I'm going to play it up to a point, and you will see why I say he's a goddamn moron.
I think a lot of people think a second term would be more of the same. I hear a lot of people say, "Well, he didn't blow up the world the first time." No, really.
No, he didn't start 3 more fucking wars either, you asshole.
I think it would be very different. And I'm guessing from the guy who knows firsthand when he said he wanted to shoot missiles into Mexico.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Wanted to seize ballot boxes after the election, right? Shoot protesters was suggested. Nuke hurricanes.
But the Democrats actually do some of those things, so.
And I just want to say, the first time he was elected, okay, he had to surround himself with some, normal people. What I would consider normal.
Oh, because they were
Republicans.
normal.
Yourself,
Bolton was
General
normal.
Milley,
Barr was
McMaster,
normal.
John Kelly, Mattis. John Bolton's a little nutty, but I still think he's a normal. Okay.
There's my proof, guys, right there. John Bolton's a little nutty, but I still think he's a normal guy. Just a little nutty. You know who's nutty is your out of touch old fuck who's got millions of dollars in the bank, who cruises on his show, hides in his limousine in his penthouse, just like that shit-stained Keith Olbermann. So once again,
his aide go get his coffee and book his reservation, and he goes to the fancy restaurants. Yeah, he has no interaction with everyday plebes. No fucking way.
No, we are just we're peasants. So go to hell, Bill Maher. I'm
but
sorry.
He has a kind heart towards us peasants. And
sure,
that's
he
all
does.
That
Sure, he
matters.
does. Sure, he does.
He feeds
sure,
us.
he does. Everything he said about Trump, he could say about Biden too, and worse in many respects. So we don't. We take no sides here. Beauty and the Boomer has no sides. If we want to call us being on a side, it's the people.
Yeah, damn right.
You brought this. I think it's
breaking.
Very
Canada has stopped arms exports to Israel.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, okay. Your euthanasia request is approved. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I saw quite a few memes about that today.
Yeah, it's further down on the deck. I think we got a couple of different stories.
Okay, and here's our shaking bloody hands that we've kept on the deck, and I think we're going to keep it on the deck until this thing is finished one way or another. But that pretty much sums it up right there, Chanda. That's what's happening.
Absolutely.
And that shit's happening because of these fuckers right here. These fuckers, the world's largest gathering of war criminals. No shit. And there's a few missing there that we don't need to name. But yeah, that is war criminals. And that's the ministers of NATO. Right.
I want to know the fucked up thing. They're not even the powerful people. They're just the puppets. They're just the ones that get their strings pulled every day and have to song and dance for us, the people. Yeah, they're not even that powerful at the end of the day.
They're not that powerful. They're just useful tools. And I hope this haunts them for the rest of their lives because
they have because you have to be a sociopath to be at that
you
level.
Have to
so
be.
Nothing haunts them. They sleep like fucking babies on Epstein's island.
Yeah, and then you had to bring 2 of my most despised people. One of them is a con man.
Because the Dems dusted her off this week and brought her out to rah for Joe Biden. Check this out.
But it's Biden versus Trump.
Yes,
we know that.
It is.
What do you say to voters who are upset that those are the 2 choices?
Get over yourself. Those are the 2 choices.
Yeah, love that.
Right? And
good.
Yeah, good.
It's kind of like one is old and effective and compassionate, has a heart.
No, he doesn't.
And really cares about people.
No, he doesn't.
One is old and has been charged with 91 felonies.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, okay. Okay, interesting.
I don't understand why this is even a hard choice, really. I don't understand it. But we have to go through the election, and hopefully people will realize what's at stake because it's existential.
What's at stake?
What kind of country we're going to have, what kind of democracy we're going to have. And people who blow that off are not paying attention because it's not like Trump, his enablers, his empowerers, his allies are not telling us what they want to do. I mean, they're pretty clear about what kind of country they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Get out there
Oh,
and vote.
you guys aren't though. You saw
Yeah, I
me
wonder if
dance
she
around
talks
it.
to. I wonder if she talks to Trump like that when they're at a wedding or a gathering or something. She probably doesn't because she's number one. She's a coward. Number two, she's a liar. And number three, she's butthurt because he kicked her fucking ass in 2016 because people were so disgusted with her they couldn't stomach voting for her. And she blew off the country, as you remember in 2016. She'd drive someplace, wave, and split. She didn't say a word. So again, I detest this woman with a passion.
She refused to go to, what was it? She didn't go to Wisconsin? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Blamed it on
some
Wisconsin or
yeah,
something for a while. Yeah.
Some of these places that they drove her to, they weren't up to her caliber of meet up. You know, she talk about arrogant. Now you've got a great picture of Joe Biden here, right? You did this. I didn't do this. I don't.
Well,
show
this
poo-poo.
is the Joe Biden she's talking about, right? We've got
Yeah.
a code brown at Marine One. The turtle has left its shell, and I better text Jill. I'm
Oh
in the
my
bathroom and I forgot
God.
to pull my pants down again.
Oh my God, you're terrible. That's awful. That's awful. Well, we'll finish this off with some very. I salute every person at this protest and every word they say.
Hell yeah. This made my night.
Hillary Clinton, hi. Has anybody told you you are the super predator? Has anybody told you you are the super predator? You're responsible for the deaths of millions. Bill Clinton, you're a genocide supporter. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Yay!
Clinton, you're responsible for genocide. You're responsible for atrocities. You're literally helping fucking facilitate the genocide of Palestinian people. What the fuck you have to say for yourself? The fuck you have to say, Hillary?
Ooh, I'm loving this. I think I'm going to make a recording and put it next to my bed. So I'll wake up in a good mood every morning.
I know you can fucking hear me. Because some feminist women are dying in Gaza. Or are dying. Do you have anything to say?
Right.
You're a fucking coward, Hillary.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Hillary. Motherfucker Hillary Clinton. Hillary died, Ron Clinton. We fucking see you, Hillary. Fuck you. We see you hiding in a back of your car, Hillary. Stop calling fundraisers for genocide, you fucking coward. How many people have died on your hands, you fucking coward? Fuck you, Hillary.
All those crazy Trumpers.
I gotta say, Chanda, that was such a wonderful lens cleanse. that was a timeline cleanse that I just enjoyed the hell out of.
Yeah.
And Linda added this. She told me today. Dev Decker says, "What's something that has better judgment than Hillary Clinton?" ? And our executive producer, Hawkified, said, Trash Panda, as you know her on Twitter, a snowman in a bonfire. Yes, that has much better judgment than Hillary Clinton has ever had. And it is time
She's
for
a
our
sociopath, just like the rest of
Oh
them.
yeah, you have to be
She didn't care those ladies were standing
She didn't
there
give a
cussing at her.
shit. Didn't give a
and
shit.
if anything, she was like, "Oh my God, these fucking Trump supporters, they're so crazy, MAGA."
MAGA. You know, I'm tired of all of that shit. It's just, it's sickening. Our executive producer, Linda, has done it again in this baseball time this week. I think she's taking a break from the angst because she gets hot just like we do. But happy birthday to the DH, celebrating 51 years of tearing covers off baseballs. And this is Linda's Yum Yum. And it is
Jack's
great.
will like this one.
They are getting so much better. For all you Mariner fans, I hope you enjoy this. Linda puts so much good work into these things and does such a wonderful job.
Happy birthday to the DH, celebrating 51 years of tearing covers off baseballs. April 6th. On this date in 1973, the American League of Major League Baseball began using the designated hitter, a player who bats in place of the pitcher, but does not play a position on the field. The National League's resistance crumpled years later, and it finally adopted the use of the DH in 2022. During those 49 years, most baseball leagues throughout the world had accepted a designated hitter of some sort. The debate still rages amongst baseball purists, or National League pitching aces, spot starters, setup men, middle relievers, long relievers, left-handed specialists, and closers who believe the DH is too specialized. Baseball realists believe the DH saves the pitcher from making an ass of himself at the plate. As a fan and follower of the Seattle Mariners, I'm in favor of the designated hitter, which can extend the career of a player with a hot bat long after his glove goes cold. Mariner Edgar Martinez, Señor Doble, was inducted into the MLB Hall of Fame in 2019, although over 70% of the games he played in were as DH. The purists complained about it, but by 2022, full-time Red Sox designated hitter David Ortiz, Big Papi, had been elected to the Hall of Fame the first time his name appeared on the ballot. So I guess they got over it. Hashtag break out the rye bread and the mustard. This time, Grandma, it's grand salami time.
Linda was an Edgar fan. I was too. I was really into the Mariners up until, about 10 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for switching it up, Linda. It's always refreshing to have a break from the insanity. Chanda, I had to do a reface on you this week that I think came out stellarly. And there you are. You're Zatanna the card dealer there. So you brought Timmy, huh? I shared this around.
Timmy Kane. He needs to get recognized for, all that he does for Israel. So there you are, Timmy Kane. He was going to be your future vice president under Hillary Clinton, if you remember. But it's okay. We're Democrats. They're allowed to do that stuff.
Oh, of course they are. That's what they do anymore. They don't. I don't know why don't we just change the name to sold out pieces of shit, and then you don't have to have a party thing going on there. That's how I feel about it. Now you brought this, right? What is this?
Well, guess what? New pandemic. Oh, everybody be scared. Yeah, we've got a bird flu, and guess what? It's attacking the cows too. But so they're destroying chicken from coast to coast. So because we can afford that right now in the United States. 2 million chickens. Multiple fire departments battling massive fire burning of chicken farms in rural parts of northeast Brazo County at Feather Crest Farms near Frickery Road, east of Curtin, Texas.
God, that's a mouthful.
That's got to smell terrible. Have you ever smelled a chicken with its feathers burning?
Yes, I have, unfortunately.
It's the most noxious, grossest, and it stays with you for fucking, I can't even imagine what that smells like.
What's also going to smell is the price of eggs and chicken itself at the market, too.
Right, because we can afford to just, and this was just a small example. I saw farm after farm, like all over the country, they're burning out.
All over the world. This is really short, but we'll show the fire here.
Oh my God. It makes me want to vomit just thinking of what that probably smells like. So bird flu pandemic could be 100 times worse than COVID, scientists warn. 100 times worse than COVID.
Yeah, a friend of mine's daughter, she was a nurse, and she died of bird flu. It was very tragic. She was very young, and she got bird flu.
Well, that's what we saw back in the early 2000s.
That's when she died. That's when she died.
China quite a few times. It was a big fucking deal. So these are the states that are already reporting, and this is 2 days old. So who knows what it's actually saying now?
Yeah, how many ways of fucked are we, by the way? Just curious.
Well, they say it's going to be the summer of pork,
Oh, God, I can't take pork. Ugh. I guess I
A lot of people say that. A lot of people are like, oh, I hate pork. Like,
I can't take it. My
you go to the
stomach
grocery store, it's the only thing that's cheap.
Yeah, it jacks me up. Well, I don't need to eat meat anyway. Poor piggies. I should quit eating them anyway. I'm a barbarian.
You need protein. You can't live on carbohydrates.
I know. Maybe I should buy a jar of peanut butter and sip it.
I'm not a big peanut butter fan, but I'm
neither am I. It's got too much sugar in it. What's Claire Daly? You brought a Claire Daly here? What's she got
I
going?
did bring us a Claire Daly, so we need to have a conversation about settler colonialism in the EU. The EU is complicit in what it is done in Gaza in the plight of the Shawari people at the hands of the Moroccans. Let's see, undetermined the EU's approach to human rights globally, such as with the Mossad, it needs to change.
Oh, God.
We watch in horror the live stream genocide in Gaza. We see aid deliberately obstructed to a starving people. Meanwhile, the Maasai people are deported from their ancestral lands in Ngoro. Women and children shot if they refuse to leave. Hundreds dying in recent months of a lack of blood products and basic health care. They need 9,000 bags of maize to ensure their basic survival. The Sahrawi people are also exiled from their land. Their valuable resources robbed by Morocco, with whom we do business, while 77% of their people depend on World Food Programme baskets, and they only receive 10% of the funding that they need. These are humanitarian crises which need a humanitarian response, but they're not unavoidable tragedies. They are the consequence of human actions, of settler colonial projects and efforts to drive people off their lands. And the EU, which should be intervening to uphold diplomatic efforts and international law, are dripping in the blood of Israeli genocide and has no credibility whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, count us lucky. We're living like kings and queens compared to these people, and we're living in this trailer park.
These people are on the outskirts of the Saharan desert, probably because they've been pushed off from Morocco.
Sure.
It sounds like.
Sure.
And yeah, so the EU, which should be stepping up and helping, is so fucking bloodied hand by what they've done in Gaza. I mean, how can we help anybody globally? I mean, it's ass backwards. You know, we are the colonizers, and yet we're the ones who are granting the aid. How do you beg your you know? You're begging
all that
people
money
for
should
help.
be going to help human rights and people globally, instead of bombing people to death and slaughtering people like they are doing in Gaza. So. Yeah, it's insane. Now you brought this is a class. It's a Nobel laureate here that you've got. What is this?
This is some TDS at its finest.
Oh my God!
Are you kidding me, law enforcement? Are you kidding me? Tonight in Grand Rapids, multiple law enforcement officers stood behind Donald Trump as he spoke. People that are elected officials like sheriffs, others hired to protect and enforce the law for the entire citizenry, not for a political party, explicitly forbidden from being a partisan authoritarian police force standing on stage, entirely unethical, probably illegal, on top of which Donald Trump has been indicted 91
He reminds me
times.
of somebody
He's
we
liable
used
for
to work
sexual
with.
assault. His entire business was found
Yeah.
to be fraudulent. And law enforcement has the fucking gall to stand on stage with him. Enough
Totally, I know
is
who you're talking
enough.
about. I totally see it. I know exactly who you're talking about, and yes, it absolutely. But come on, so unhinged, probably illegal. Nobody tell him that APEC owns our Congress.
Yeah, nobody,
think he
please,
can handle
no.
that shit.
No, you brought this meme. I'm glad you brought some cool memes here. These are great.
Having dinner after a hard day of crying about the mean orange man.
Snarky, is that a fact, Snarky? Snarkies are very well educated chatter down there. I hope you're doing well. It takes 100 million eggs a year to make. Can I say that word? Vaccines. Yeah. I didn't know that. Snarky. Thanks for the 2 bills too. That's good to know.
We thought eggs were expensive now. Kate.
Yeah. No shit. No shit. I'm again, Snarky. I hope you're doing well. Miss talking to you. So, yeah. No.
Let's talk about the solar eclipse. I brought some fun stuff for the eclipse.
Okay. Here's the eclipse.
Okay. So solar eclipse 2024. Full list of places that won't see it after the path changed. What? How did the path change?
How does that work?
Newsweek. Are you crazy? What the fuck are you talking about?
Newsweek is probably the dumbest periodical in the world now. So what do you got?
So
here?
I was a little confused about that. Like, how does the fucking path change? The sun's pretty set where it is. The moon's pretty set where it is. The earth is where it is. So how did they get this wrong? So Google says the National Weather Service, in conjunction with the Weather Channel, has announced the postponement of the upcoming solar eclipse scheduled for 4/9/24. Due to projected in climate and excess cloudy weather patterns for the Midwest and Southwest regions of the United States. So you've been mistaken. It's been postponed. And then it got community noted because of course it would. And it says, you can make this up. And the original post has made this up. Eclipses cannot be postponed because humans have no control over the movement of the sun or the moon.
Jesus Christ. This is unbelievable. Snarky says 2 counties in Iowa make eggs just for meds. That's a lot of eggs. That's a lot of eggs. By the way, I gotta say, Snow Leopard says silver is about $0 an ounce. Gold is 1,700 ish.
They want it that way because the poor's own silver.
Well, here's the thing. It's not 0. He corrected that. I think it's 40. I don't know where that's 40. When I checked Kidco last week, silver was around 26 and gold was at about about 224 or something like that. But yeah, to your point, yeah, silver, absolutely. We've got, here's more clip stuff. So what do I just play this?
I thought this was an informative little ticky-tacky.
Okay, ticky-tacky, here we go.
Good afternoon, folks. I hate that I have to make this video, but here we go. With the solar eclipse happening in a few days and about 1 billion conspiracy theories going around the internet, let's break down one thing that's relatively stupid and then something legitimately concerning.
Yeah, you
First,
can see
just when I thought I'd heard it all, I found a new level of internet lunacy the other day. Someone was saying that this entire eclipse thing is fake because the purported track of the shadow is going the wrong way, they said. Their quote, "Look at how the shadow goes west to east. That's not how the sun moves. The sun moves east to west over the earth. So this entire thing must not be real." Yeah, I'll take a moment to do this one in visual form. Shadows go the opposite way of the light source. For this, I need a desk, a pencil, and a flashlight on my phone. I'm moving the light back and forth, and we're going to see what the shadow of the pencil does. In this example, my flashlight is the sun, the pencil is the moon, projecting the eclipse shadow onto the earth, which is being played by the desk in this video. You see how the shadow moves in the opposite way of the light source? I know some of you must be laughing at this point, but that post has over 2 million views on Twitter. Yes, this is what you are supposed to see. When the light moves one way, the shadow moves the other. So yes, the shadow should be projected moving west to east, and the northern track that we have is due to Earth's tilt at this time of year relative to the sun. But the serious thing I want to mention, we all know the thing they pulled the last time an election year came around. I have been waiting for another one this year. A virus isn't going to cut it this time. So what's the plan? That's a good question. I don't know the answer, but I can tell you this, they're running out of time. Now, eclipses happen 2 to 5 times a year. That's every year. They don't cause calamity or earthquakes or even have more than a mild psychological impact. Shooting sounding rockets into the ionosphere happens all the time, and this is not the first time NASA has done it during an eclipse. All of their missions get weird names, by the way. But I would not put shenanigans past the government, especially after living through the last 4 years. I can assure you of this.
Yeah.
If something major happens during the eclipse, they did it. I'm just going to say it plainly like that. If something happens, the government did it. That wouldn't shock me. And I'm not talking about a solar flare or something. It is sunspot maximum, so that may even be said to be expected. I'm talking about something major with the grids, the internet, social unrest, military action, etc. If something happens, it was done
I'm
on
saying
purpose,
military
and
action.
Likely to begin interfering
Yeah,
with the 2024
they've been deployed in a lot of
election
places.
process. Hate to say it, but I said it.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we will. We'll find out. I just not with the moon landing stuff too, because everything is making me crazy. It's all breaking my brain. You brought a Brent Pella here. What's going on with Brent?
I don't know. I just stumbled across this as a TikTok, so just a theory. But what if CERN is being used as an EMP so people think the solar eclipse did it? Ooh, that's a good conspiracy.
That's a pretty decent theory. Snorky, you want to weigh in on that? Here we go. Brent Pella.
Okay.
Okay, here's what you need to know about the total solar eclipse. Now, a lot of people know that the total solar eclipse will be traveling on a path from frickin' southish to northish over the United States of America. And many people believe that this eclipse pathway is actually opening up a portal for humans to receive downloads of information and connect deeper with the universe. Now, what's crazy is if you take one letter from every city that the eclipse is traveling over, you can rearrange it to get a message directly from the universe. And what's even weirder, dude, is if you trace the past 3 eclipse pathways. They form a perfect freaking triangle over the United States of America. And if you look at this circle here, that's the true middle of this triangle. It's an untouched piece of land that humans have never made contact with. And what's crazy is if you zoom in on this true middle of the triangle that the eclipse pathways create, you'll find this is the location where P. Diddy is hiding.
That was good. Thank you for bringing that. Thank you. Thank you so much. No, that was great. Okay, I'm trying to get over that. That was just really funny. By the way, the music he used was Hans Zimmer, who is one of my favorite conductors of all time. That was from the movie Interstellar. But that was really,
right. Snarky
really
says
good.
no, CERN is just Europe's collider. I don't know if we have many that small hidden here. We have a couple of them hidden here in the United States. I know there's one in Texas that's quite old, but I know they're building another one. So there's quite a few CERNs.
You know what? I got you all beat. The whole answer to this thing. Here's the
Colliders.
answer. Snorky, listen up. It's the fucking Twilight Zone, dude. Anything can happen in the Twilight Zone. So don't count it out quite yet. You brought up Biden. Biden says the quiet part out loud. What is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
All right, we'll play it.
We're making the biggest investment ever to deal with the climate crisis. I know you all know there's no climate problem. I know you know that. I spent a lot of time in Arizona, New Mexico, California, all through, flew up and down the state with your governor and those wildfires. I know they just happen.
Is that real, or did somebody make that? I don't know.
No, he said he was being facetious. It was sad, he was being a smartass.
Okay,
But he got it wrong. Is the problem? His deliverance.
Of course
was
he did. He does get it wrong. Context is huge. We have got a very good Sabby Sabs from her show last night. We haven't had. You had one last week. Never mind. But I thought this was pretty telling, and I believe this is how the election is going to roll.
Oh, I don't want anyone to know. Kind of quiet.
So you guys hear that? Over 20 delegates. So listen to this. The Wisconsin primary is April 7th. That's just around. It's coming up very quickly, just around the corner. So I'll be sure to check those numbers of the uninstructed turnout there. I don't know why they called it uninstructed instead of uncommitted or I don't know, something like that. Uninstructed sounds a little. I don't know why they chose that term, but I told you that this was spread.
That's weird. In the Wisconsin primary, they're pushing to get at least 20,000 votes, the same number that won Biden the state back in 2020.
Wisconsinites have had enough. Democracy looks like listening to a majority of Americans who support a ceasefire.
A March Gallup poll found that 55% of Americans disapprove of Israel's military actions in Gaza, but that number is even higher at 63% when just looking at voters between the ages of 18 and 34.
Hey, have you heard of the Vote Uninstructed campaign? Have you guys heard about the Uninstructed campaign?
About an hour and a half away, 22-year-old graduate student Dahlia Saba is at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, also working to get the word out about the uninstructed movement.
And so, would you be down to vote uninstructed? Cool.
Why flyering? Do you think that's the best way to get out to students?
I think it's important for students to see that, this is a campaign that's being run by students and by young people. The uninstructed campaign is really a way of sending a message. It is a way for us to quantify, this is how many people care about this issue. We are Democrats, we're voting in the Democratic primary. These are your constituents, and your policy is alienating them. So would you be willing to vote uninstructed? Yeah, I would definitely be interested. Okay.
As a Palestinian American with family currently in Gaza, Dahlia says this movement is personal for her.
For me, at least, I felt a lot of cognitive dissonance of going to school, going to class, and acting like everything is normal when every day I see videos of the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life.
Think about how Palestinian Americans must feel, even though what's happening is so far away, is so close to their heart, right? Because it's their people, right? They are Palestinian. Think about how they must feel right now. They probably can't go one day without seeing the images that are happening in Gaza. And my whole thing is, regardless if the ceasefire happens before November, at this point in time, I got to tell you, if I was still a part of the Democratic Party, I still wouldn't support Joe Biden. All these people that have been killed, and the way that he could have prevent more death in Gaza, but he chose not to because he continued to give BB weapons. I got to tell you, at this point, it's not just uncommitted or uninstructed in the primary. It should be that way in November as well. Don't support this dude. Just don't. Votes have to be earned. And the whole Trump bad, oh my God, both Biden and Trump support the state of Israel. So there are other options out there that are running that do not. You can always vote for them. But at this point, if you voted uncommitted or uninstructed in the primary and then November you turn around and support Joe Biden, I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't.
And a lot of them are going to do that. A lot of them think it's okay to vote for whoever you want in the primary, but you have to toe the line come the general.
Yeah, well,
so
that's
they will turn and vote for Biden.
I hope they don't. I really don't.
They will.
Because
if they're
going to do
They're
that,
programmed to.
Well,
that's how cogs work.
I'm betting they won't, and I've got some pretty good cover because if they do, I'll just say it was fixed.
There you go.
There you go. You brought this. This is very.
Did you see this crap where they want to throw the woman who found Ashley Biden's diary and made it public in prison for 10 months?
Yeah, just send him over there with Julian Assange, you asshole.
Right?
Fucking
Somebody's
scumbag.
got to pay for this. What is it with the fucking Bidens and leaving their shit laying around? I mean, Hunter's left how many multiple laptops with, enough evidence that would convict any normal person for 100 fucking years. Ashley just leaving her diary laying around.
It's not from
they don't
drugs.
Really dispute that these things are real either, right?
It's not from drugs, Chanda. We know that.
It's not drugs.
Fuck these guys. They're
there was
making
some
me
crazy shit in that diary. Remember her
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
uncomfortable, sexually
yeah,
taking
yeah,
showers with her back.
Makes me sick. Cream of bullshit. You brought Jake Tapper brand of cream of bullshit. What's this about?
So okay, did you hear about the bank heist over Easter?
Yes, I did.
The biggest bank heist in the history of our country. Like,
yay!
fucking
Yay!
bravo.
Yay!
They're saying it probably was an inside job.
You think? You think?
They accessed the vault from the ceiling and got past security cameras and every freaking way they had. It was Ocean's fucking 11 straight up. So this is a little clip of CNN talking to a former bank robber about how you'd pull this off.
Let's pay attention to this interview and see how well it goes.
It involves big money, Mondo money. I'm talking $30 million in cash money stolen on Easter Sunday. It happened in northern Los Angeles at a money storage facility. What's that? Cash from business across the region. Well, they're held there. Sources telling CNN the burglars broke through the roof, bypassed the alarms, entered the vault by cutting through the ceiling, and then exited the building by breaking through a rear wall. It's one of the largest cash heists in the city's history.
Yay.
I know you've probably got 30 million questions. So do I. So for starters, you ever see what $30 million in cash looks like in person? Me either. But here's a taste. This is $30 million stacked in $100 bills. Now, we don't know the denominations of the stolen cash, but in $100 bills, that would be about 661 pounds.
3 heavy duffel bags.
$50 bills,
I can manage that.
Yeah,
no shit.
1,300 pounds. $20 bills, 3,300 pounds. And in case the burglars really ran into a challenge, $1 bills would have been 66,000
pounds.
I thought that was interesting. Like, yeah, I would carry it. I can handle 600 pounds.
I'm not advocating crime, but I gotta hand it to these guys. They were sitting in a bar one night, and they said, "Hey, let's go knock off a $30 million depository."
They planned the perfect heist. Yeah, if they keep their mouth shut and they don't spend any of that money and they get the fuck out of Dodge, they might actually pull it off because they say normally you'll get away with the first one. It's when you keep coming back and you get greedy that you get caught when you rob banks.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, but I'm thinking about the movie rights that they're going to get.
Have you ever sat around with friends and planned heists? I have.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I can't say as I spent much time. I was too busy trying to make my rent working for slaves. Right. So yeah, I was.
Well, that's
kinda
probably
bad.
why I was fantasizing about heists because I was always looking for my rent.
Is this punk rock? Did you bring punk rock?
Dude, this is your Fox cream of bullshit, and it's so creamy, let me tell you.
Okay. No chunks then. Okay, here we go.
Because this bud's for you.
The former president's after-dinner DJ sessions include his favorites played at a high...
What's with the audio on this shit?
Same vibe at his rallies. He controls the playlist, disregard...
It's actually
No,
pretty funny.
you
Not
just
that I
fast
haven't
forwarded
chased
it.
him on Play DJ, blow off a little steam. I've been
Let
there when he
me
does
back
that. It's
out of
actually
here and
pretty
go back and start over again. Let's try it again. And this time I'll change the audio instead of fast forward.
The former president's after-dinner DJ sessions include his favorites played at a high volume. And same vibe at his rallies. He controls the playlist.
You see how I do this in case you need to, right?
Topic, tone, or volume.
Okay, this is just getting funny. Now, they tried indicting him, they tried defaming him, they tried to bankrupt him, they tried calling him a traitor,
And now the little influencers online are
Little
even attacking
influencers.
Trump because of his favorite songs, his playlist. Now, some nights at Mar-a-Lago, the president likes to play DJ, blow off a little steam. I've been there when he
Trump's
does
a
it. It's
DJ.
actually pretty funny. Not that I haven't teased him on some of his choices, but that's the fun of it. So Axios wants you to think this is all a bad thing because no one can have fun except the liberals, right? They write, after dinner, he'll open his iPad and play the hits. Sometimes it's so loud that people have trouble talking. Trump spinning through his golden oldies provides a telling lens into his style on a much bigger stages. It captures his obsession with a few familiar hits, controlling the volume, never changing. Joining me now is someone who knows a little bit about music and playlists, my old buddy Kid Rock. All right, Bobby, it's good to see you tonight. We're going to talk about your new tour in a minute.
Are you really doing a story on this?
Well, you were going to come on, so I had to think of something.
That was creamy, stupid bullshit.
That was pretty creamy bullshit, I gotta say.
It was.
Yeah, I don't know. I seem to remember the Clintons had an affinity for Fleetwood Mac, so they can shut up.
It ruined Fleetwood Mac for me for a long fucking
It did.
time. But
It really did.
the whole time I was like, this is actually a fucking story. And then Kid Rock comes on and goes, you're actually doing a story on this? But I love how she calls him Bobby or some shit. And he gets shocked for a second. Like, you used my real name.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, Laura.
Fox,
And
you think you'd have more professionalism.
here, I'm gonna do a preaching to the choir thing here for all the next generations of people.
Millennials can't afford to buy houses. We got told if you went to school and you got a good job and you graduated that you would be able to buy your dream home. We were
Nope.
sold this unachievable dream that if you work hard, that you get what you want. It seems like no matter how many hours you put in, you're getting nowhere. On top of that, we have student loan debt that we need to pay off. Can't afford a house. We're in debt. The pandemic hit and inflation and food prices increased. Everything is more expensive, but the wages are the same. Forget about health insurance. We can't afford that. We're basically working like we're in 2015, but we can't afford McDonald's now. Boomers had it easy. They could afford a house. And now those 1960 houses are triple the price. Gen X doesn't care. They're like, it is what it is. Work harder. Gen Z doesn't know what's going on with us. And us millennials are the only generation left that cares about the future generations. But we're constantly getting told that we're spending too much on Starbucks, even though they're shopping at Temu, even though we have 2 jobs. The government doesn't care about us. You want
No,
a
it
work-life
doesn't.
balance? Not possible. Millennials and Gen Z are going to inherit a system that is broken, and we're going to have to replace it all. And that's why it's important to vote for younger candidates that are in our generation that actually care about what's happening. Because the old white men sitting in the White House don't care about us. So we have to care.
Yeah, but that pushes them into voting for the fucking Democrats. That's why young liberals flood into the Democratic Party in waves.
They're gonna figure it out. Old white men, and I'm not a fan of old white men. I got to look at this asshole every day in the mirror. But that being said, you know, that was a lot of information, and she's absolutely right. But you need to vote younger people for the most part who aren't party affiliated, independent, who don't take money from scum organizations, foreign agents like AIPAC or the ADL or corporations. And once you do all that, then you've got to contend with the system, how rigged and corrupt it is. So I don't know what you do other than the D word or the R word. That's all I can come up with. And speaking of this unaffordability and stuff, here you go with and I fixed this today, by the way. The Democrats, President Biden, more than 15 million jobs created, unemployment less than 4%. What else does it say? Small business boom. And I'm going to call bullshit on that. I'll read this first. If the economy was doing great, you wouldn't have to tell people every day. We would know. Mass layoffs shows worst hits this year. Now, we were talking in the green room, Chanda. Illinois is toast now, right, Illinois? Because 4 factories went down in there. There's a whole list of companies that are laying off and closing. And that does not seem to minus from these 15 million jobs. And this 15 million jobs number they're quoting is from when he took office, right? Not this year, but when...
No, the next slide, we have this year, just March alone. They're trying to say they've added 303,000 jobs in March alone.
Bullshit. And if they did...
What are they, weapons developing jobs? Are they manufacturing for bombs? That's the only thing I can come up with.
Is it seasonal job? Is this cream of bullshit? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's News Nation's cream of bullshit.
Okay, let's see what it's got to say.
Today, where were you earlier when the earth was shaking?
Yeah, I was actually in my hotel room and I thought there was some construction or something going on. I mean, I'm from Houston. I can do hurricanes all day, but I've never done an earthquake. So, yeah, it was a little unnerving for sure.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's weird when you're in a tall building like we were, probably like you were. Yeah, you just don't expect to see it. I thought the same thing. Maybe it's construction. When it was going on 20 or 30 seconds, I said that's something a little bit strange going on. Now, jobs. 300,000 plus, right? More than expected. Looks like another pretty strong report. Tell us what it means.
Yeah, so it's an interesting question because you see a strong jobs report, you automatically think, great, that's good news. The economy is stronger than what we anticipate. That's positive for what we're seeing in regards to earnings that are going to start next week with the banks. But the question is, if we continue to have these strong data reports come out, does that mean it pushes rate cuts even further out to later in the year? The markets are really counting on some of those rate cuts to continue the momentum that they've had. So it's really that question of, is good news good news or is good news bad news?
That is
I know, that's why I brought it. That was total cream of fucking bullshit.
That was cream of bullshit.
And they're just there to tell you that bullshit so the middle class, the upper middle class, feels good about it when they're listening to the news in the background in their fucking $1 million, multi-million-dollar house. The economy's great.
Our friend Tyler Vega brought an article, California fast food wages increasing to $20 an hour next month. And the reason I brought this is this was a Facebook post and everybody was hailing this as progress and everything else. Well, not me, and I hope I articulated this correctly in my response. This is all not going to end well. Prices are inflated. They will go higher and blame living wages that aren't even living wages. We will have an economic crash sooner than later. The Biden disaster is going to try and hold it off until after the election, like Bush attempted to back in the day when he was running, and it didn't work out. So.
I brought an example of that on the next slide. We have some of those price increases in California because of the $20 minimum wage. And this is a fast food joint. And you can see, I think I got this from Jax. Shout out to Jax. I hope she's having a great family time this spring break. Anyways, you can see the cheeseburger went from $3.95 on March 29th to, what is that? $4.10 or $4.10 on April 1st. So you're paying 15 cents more for a fucking cheeseburger so somebody could have a decent wage. I don't know. I mean, I get exactly what you're saying. And yes, I agree that this is just, I mean, we're headed for a crash, but it's not because a minimum wage got raised to $20.
My point is prices can't keep going up and meeting that because the dollar's being devaluated more and more. We're
the dollar doesn't value anything anymore.
To nothing.
It's nothing
but
already.
To me, this is like they're going to try and scapegoat minimum wage as the root of all evil.
They will. Absolutely.
That's what and it's bullshit. And no, what it is, it's greed and it's cash grabs. They're trying to inflate everything because they know this is coming too, and they want to be in a good position when the shit hits the fan. And we're all going to be fucked.
Stuff in their fucking pockets. They don't have to raise burger prices in order to give somebody a living fucking wage. They just got to cut back on their greed, and they won't fucking do it because it's late stage capitalism, and it's an all out smash and grab for everything you can fucking get.
Every penny that they can bleed out of us. What's this?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Pulling the lever.
In a couple days since I wrote the doc.
Right. Landlords provide housing the same way scalpers
landlords.
provide
Yeah, fuck
tickets.
landlords.
They don't. Landlords are a superfluous class. Want to know how I know this? Because landlords don't provide anything of value. Landlords don't provide housing. Engineers, architects, contractors, construction workers, plumbers, carpenters provide housing. Landlords come after and put their signature on a slip of paper. That's not providing housing. That's hoarding housing and ransoming it back to the public for more than it's worth. Just like a scalper, private property should be illegal. Notice that I said private property and not personal property. Private property is property used to extract wealth from the general public. It's parasitic, it's vampiric, and it should be abolished. Everyone should be able to own their own home. One person or a board of directors or a corporation should not have the ability to hoard housing
I like
from
his
people
hair.
who need it. They are literally using a
I don't
human
know who
right
this guy
as a
is.
way
He does
to
a lot
extract
of
profit. This is capitalism. This is what it does. It privatizes human rights, then ransoms it back to the public. You don't have a choice. You are forced to participate. Get bread or get dead. Profits over people. Property rights over human rights. That is capitalism. Everyone should be able to own a home. Nobody should go without a roof over their head. Yes, it might mean a few people have to give up their mega yachts, but so what? Who cares? Does it really tear you up at night that Jeff Bezos won't be able to dismantle a bridge in Rotterdam that his $500 million mega yacht can fit through? Get fucking real.
Yeah, I mean,
Clothing of slumlords. If you're
Yeah.
a decent landlord and you take care of your tenants and you're putting the money that you're making back into the property, I got no problem with you. It's these fucking people that buy up mass fucking properties. They don't maintenance. They don't do shit. They just collect the rent every goddamn month. And I've taken them on. My very first apartment, slumlord who I took on in court. A couple of probably 15 years ago, I took
Yeah.
a major freaking slumlord on, and I took it to court myself. And we tried it for 3 fucking days. I was like I was an attorney, a judge, cross-examining witnesses. It was the craziest damn shit. And yeah, I beat him back too.
Well, you got your shit together.
Feed on
Yeah.
the young, the most vulnerable among us, and it fucking pisses me off. It's always enraged me. Slumlords, man.
You had your
Yeah.
ducks in a row. You went in there, and God help me.
No, I was
ne-
high out of my mind. It was back in my methadone days, but man, I just stayed super
Well, that
high. I was very
expands your
productive back
mind.
in my high
Yeah.
days. I gotta tell you.
I wouldn't want to face you in court in any condition. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I had to bring this.
I did my
as a-
homework. That's for
I had
sure.
to bring this as a subtle reminder, not so subtle. In 2001, Joe Scarborough resigned 6 months after re-election to Congress due to rumors he was having an affair with an intern. Oh, the shame! The dead body of the intern, Lori Kaulustis, was found in his office. Her suspicious death was dismissed as an accident. So that's your puritanical son of a
Hashtag
bitch.
remember this poor
Yeah.
girl. She hasn't got justice because the Democrats have covered this up for him for all these years, and we all freaking know it, right?
Well, the powers that be, I think he was Republican boy back then. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah,
if
no, I think you're right. But
I
the
could be wrong.
Democrats sure protect him now.
They
don't
protect each other. It's
No,
a
he's got
duopoly,
Nika.
and they're all scumbags, and they all fool around with their interns, so to speak. When I say all of that ilk do that. I'm sure there's some that don't. But again, he is a scumbag, and so is Mika. And sorry, but it's just
And her
my
daddy,
opinion,
too.
and I'm sticking
And
to
her
it.
little dog,
Good news,
too.
Chanda. Did you see this? Good news.
I've always known this.
This is from the Daily Mail, so whatever you think. Cancer-causing forever chemicals found in Band-Aids where they can get directly into blood through open wounds. Report was
Oh.
at the Daily Mail. I'm not.
I'm allergic to
buying-
Band-Aids, and
Yeah.
I've always been allergic to the medical tape because I'm allergic to iodine, and so it blisters me. So I believe that. There's some nasty fucking chemicals in that residue that sticks it to your skin.
Well, I'm going to use the Band-Aids because if I've got a leaker, I need to stop it, and it's better than rubbing dirt into
Johnson
it.
and
Or
Johnson,
is
you
it?
can't go wrong. They love you with all of your heart.
Yeah, and their talcum powder, which causes...
My mom was a nurse, right? And I'll never forget, like the year into COVID, she's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for the Johnson and Johnson. That's a family name that I trust being a nurse all these
sure.
years."
Yeah, right
I
after
just
the
think back
talcum.
on that.
Talcum
Yeah,
powder,
yeah.
talcum powder, and God knows what else. So now it's going to be Band-Aids, probably,
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Band-Aids.
This show is satire, folks, and everything really works well when it comes from a pharmaceutical company, right? Cancer on campus. Over 150 students and staff at North Carolina University are diagnosed with a host of tumors, diseases. Officials find lecture halls and classrooms teeming with toxic chemicals. Did I bring this, or did you?
I probably brought it.
Yeah, but that's the
not a
fact.
shocker, though. Yeah, that happens all the time in commercial buildings, right?
Yeah, we used to have these portables that were built, and I think they had
Oh God, I
asbestos
still
in
can
them.
smell my portable. That
Yeah.
that pre-laminate glue smell. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking when I walked into that thing, this ain't right. This
Yeah.
ain't
You're
right.
kind of high, like,
Yeah.
whoa, what is that
Kinda
dizzy
high.
feeling? Yeah.
Oh, you brought this one. Yeah, Canada's really ramping up its move to help the people.
This is a short clip. I think it's like under a minute.
Oh,
if I
there's a
remember
clip here.
right.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's only 12
Blind.
seconds.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Hello, my name is Soraya and I'm 28 years old. I live in the Netherlands and recently my euthanasia request for my mental suffering got approved.
So it's
What?
not just Canada. It's not just Canada. This is a part of the eugenics movement. It's to depopulate the earth. I swear that they're rolling it out in these socialist type countries so they can say, "See, look, it's so humane."
Aren't we like 2-3 billion too heavy? I don't know. I don't know. You brought
Well, not
this,
if
and I believe this. By the way, I believe this.
Peanut M&Ms are healthier than beef and pork. Bill Gates funded study claims. I would believe it if it didn't have Bill Gates' name on it.
Yeah.
Totally, I would believe it. But because Bill Gates is
I
affiliated
know.
with them, like, no,
I know.
we're being
I know.
duped again.
Like I
And of
said.
course, I had to bring you the $6.69 Hopper value meal.
Thank you very much. That
You're
just
welcome.
the
Get your
666 with
bugs
me
in.
just eats my brain all
I
the
like the
time.
cricket rings. The
Oh
cricket rings
God,
are the
I
best.
they'll look good. I love cricket rings. You know, they're really crunchy but they get caught between my
Mission
teeth.
fucking taco shells are bioengineered with some kind of freaking bug stuff. Like what?
Oh,
No, I've been
my
eating Mission my whole
God.
life. You know the tortillas.
Oh yuck!
God.
You brought
Can't trust
another one
anything
here.
anymore.
What's this all about?
If you watch certain YouTubers' videos, investigators demand your data from Google. Share your YouTube data. Promote civil liberty worries.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
We've known this for a long time. We've been telling you guys they're tracking everything we're watching, everything we're saying, every message that we're sending. So, hey, my FBI guy realized that my post makes sense. Yeah, it's about time. Alternative tech and financial platforms are being built for the so-called freedom economy by figures on the far right, including those with anti-Semitic beliefs. Oh no.
My God.
What do you think of that? I keep hearing people talking about this. I think Steve over at Slow News Days, Steve and Chris were talking about this too. Because we talk about that. You got to start building parallel structures to get out of these systems, right? But this freedom economy on the far right, yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't either. Tell me about
in
this.
property taxes at 65, let seniors stay in their homes. Absolutely. You should have no property taxes once you're on Social Security, and the government can't touch your fucking house. It's not theirs. It's not. They didn't pay into it for 30 fucking years. They can't steal it from your family, from your heirs. Yeah.
Well, Medicaid wants to take your house after you die.
That's how they do it. That's their workaround. Like, oh, well, okay, we can't take it from you. We'll just wait till you got to go in a nursing home, and we got to pay your bills for 3 months, so we'll take all of your property.
Great. They're not getting shit from me, but I'll come back.
Well, make sure of it.
So you brought this, right? What is this?
This is a White House press briefing earlier this week, and Julian Assange question got asked. And if you notice, she doesn't outright come out and attack Assange like she used to, because she knows she has to pussyfoot around it. That's how much effect the Assange movement is having, and with what's going on with Assange. So I found this interesting.
About press freedom, our government appears to be closer to potentially extraditing Julian Assange. Press freedom groups say that the case threatens to criminalize our profession. So I'm wondering what the White House's thinking is regarding that matter and the potential threat to press freedom. Does the White House have a stance on the pending federal press shield legislation that passed the House and that Senator Schumer told me he hopes reaches President Biden's desk this year?
You're talking about the Press Acts more specifically. Look, and I've said this many times. I've said this last week, where journalism is not a crime. We've been very clear about that.
Oh, fucking shut up.
As it relates to this particular legislation, I haven't reviewed it. Would have to talk to our Office of Leg Affairs on that particular legislation. But I do want to say, back in October of 2022, the Justice Department codified a policy to ban subpoenas of journalist records. The president strongly supports the right of free and independent press. That is something that the president talked about when he was at the Gridiron. The president talked about this at the last White House Correspondents' Dinner. He's been very consistent about this, and I'll just quote him for a second. A free press is a pillar of any free society.
Oh, Jesus,
and while we may not
up.
always agree
That's
with
going in
certain
the history
coverage
books.
or admire it,
He came up with
we
that all
do
by
admire
himself.
the courage of the
Oh,
free
my
press.
God.
Journalism, again, is not a crime.
Before moving on, just to confirm, no stance yet on the Press Act that you're aware of, and the Assange matter, is they're concerned about that.
I don't have much more to share besides what I
course
just
you
laid
don't.
out
She
here.
won't go there.
So I'll
She
just
won't
leave it
go there.
As what I just stated to you.
She won't go there.
Then-
That's a good sign. That
Okay.
that the State Department has told her to shut up with the talking points of Assange is a criminal. So
All right.
I do see that as a small victory that she
Okay,
stopped
Brandon.
regurgitating that.
Okay, Brandon. Demand Assange's immediate release, fuckers.
Exactly.
Put your
They
money
fucking-
where your mouth is, asshole.
One phone call and he could be a free man.
I like this. This is good.
Yeah, this was in Paris. Of course, this is their Statue of Liberty, their little one.
Yeah. Why'd they give us
Good
a
job.
big one?
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. You might get struck by lightning. You go over there.
It is Meme Alley time, and here we are. We've got Meme Alley coming up. Shanda, I think we both did a few memes this time around.
Oh, the memes have been super hot and fresh this week. I already got all of the Meme Alley done for Monday's show.
Yeah, if I could find the first one and get us kicked off, it'll be nice. Yeah, I brought this from a mutual friend of ours. That's Kathy Copeland-Patton. And when you accidentally touch your sense of humor, that fits me perfectly. Gotta say, that's me.
Yeah, you and your dark soul.
It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark.
No,
and you brought this one.
Me looking at the eclipse without glasses so I can file disability on Tuesday, and me looking at the eclipse so I can file disability on Monday.
Good plan, Shanda.
Better get your story straight.
I love this one. You brought this. This is great.
The beacon is lit. America calls for aid.
That McDonald's sign, that is terrific. And here you go with your favorite Billy boy.
The science you trusted is eugenics. Yeah.
That's what it is. Definitely. I like this. The Samantha Shanda there sitting on the corner of that.
Yeah, she fit up there just perfect, so I had to leave her
Yeah,
up there.
I like Samantha Shanda. Don't ever get rid of her. She's great.
No, I don't.
And you got this one.
Ever heard of electromagnetic field EMFs? Them. Oh, that's just this conspiracy theory. I don't feel a thing.
Oh God, you got some good remember wins. I think I brought a couple of these too. I've got a Where's Waldo in there too. For this, I think you might like this Where's Waldo.
Did you put Waldo in here?
Yeah, I put a Where's Waldo, but it's not really Waldo. Behold the mighty chain lamp, a staple in every home in the 1970s, and this caught my eye because we had one. We had one right next to our
I had
easy
multiples.
chair.
I love the chain lamps. I still love the chain lamps. If I find a good chain lamp, like a garage sale or a Goodwill, I'll drag that thing home.
They use that amber in everything, from glasses at the Shell station to ashtrays.
Yep.
Everything was amber.
Everything
back
was
then.
amber and avocado. And
Yeah, avocado, all
brown.
those
Yeah.
chokers. Yeah, and
Yuck.
talk about
Yuck.
reeling in the years. Yeah, and then the soap, the bars of soap. Now the funny thing is a lot of this packaging is still the same. Ivory, for one thing, is definitely the same. I don't know about the rest of it. It's been Caress. I think Caress is the same because I go to this closeout store and get that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. You know, I grabbed a 2-pack of Dove the other day and I threw it in my cart, and I could have swore it said like 3 something on it, you know, under it. So I get up to the register and it rings up $5 for 2 bars of soap. I was like, Jesus.
What, are you going to eat it?
Apparently.
What you must binge watch one TV series from the 60s and 70s, What are you watching, Chanda? Come on. What is it?
No, I want to hear you first. What are you watching?
60s or 70s? God, it's a toss-up. There were so many that I loved, and don't laugh at me, everybody, but I loved That Girl and The Odd Couple. They were two of my favorites. Bewitched and I Dream a Genie, Gilligan's Island. I want to binge watch them all. I think I have.
Okay, so here's mine. My top ones are Dark Shadows.
Loved it.
Rockford Files.
Loved it.
Maybe Quincy.
Quincy was good. Jack Klugman. That's before he got the throat cancer going on.
I know.
I miss him. I miss him. I heard he was.
I loved Rockford Files, though. Oh my gosh, yeah, I lusted over.
And they abused the shit out of him. He even did stories on that. They made him work. They made
still great looking all the way into his 80s.
James Garner did a great job, and I don't know, was that NBC or ABC? I don't know, but he was complaining about how they beat the living shit out of him, made him adhere to his contract to a T, and he had to fight.
There was a lot of stunts in Rockford Files.
Yeah, and he couldn't. He didn't want to do them, and they made him do them, which was sad. Terrible.
It was a good show, though.
I don't know I had to bring this to fashion because dancing is fashionable.
Laughing would be good. Star Trek, Benny Hill, Smothers Brothers, Popeye.
Smothers Brothers, yeah, we've got
Twilight
a friend in there that
Zone.
loves the Smothers Brothers too.
Twilight
yeah,
Zone was a good one too.
Who was the better dancer in the '80s movie Dancer? Who do you say?
Oh, Patrick Swayze all day long. All day long.
You don't think Travolta did a good job?
Nah. Oh well, yeah. No, I love Saturday Night Fever. Are you kidding? That was the first movie I remember.
That isn't the only movie he did dancing.
I don't know. Maybe it's his ugly personality that I don't like, but Patrick Swayze's got it for me.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze. God, he was taken too young. That's for damn
Way too
sure.
young.
That's for damn sure. Sponsored by Mr. Zog Sex Wax, by the way. I don't know if you caught that. Remember that
Mr.
stuff?
Zogs.
Mr. Zogs. What the hell is that stuff?
That's sex wax on the market.
What is that for?
Sex wax is for your board.
Yeah, for your board. Okay, everybody. Here, you may be old, but are you this old? Well, yeah, I am. Windows 98. That looks like one of the first computers. The only thing is I built my first computer, and that's what it kind of came out like. And that jet rocket, I had one of those things, and I almost put my eye out with it.
Oh, I had one too. The water rockets. Fucking love those things, man. You could pump those suckers up so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about those.
And this little thing up in the corner, can anybody tell us what
I don't
that
even
is?
want to know. Oh my God.
That's my Where's Waldo for tonight. That's
what is it?
Yeah,
Tell
somebody
me,
in the
what
chat, tell us what that is, because
and
I
please
know
don't tell
it
me
is.
what I think it is.
I had to put it in there because I lost the deck for a minute there. Because I needed something a little bit salty in there. Did anybody in the deck get it yet? While I'm relining the deck here.
I don't know. What could it fucking be? What is it? Like a manual udder milker? I don't know. A vacuum? Fingerman says it's a vacuum.
No, it's a penis pump.
Is it from Sweden?
It's a penis pump.
It's
a penis
That
pump.
was too easy. Obviously, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, well, you need to shout it out there, lady. You know what they look like.
That's kind of I'm
racy.
Just saying, nowadays they have like
Yeah. Anyway, so
kind of small.
a camping bed pump. I'm with Popeye. It's a camping bed pump. It's a reverse camping
bed pump.
It sucks the air out of the mattress.
Those come in handy. I know. I had the grandkids sleeping on the air mattress this week.
And we've got Stoner Corner here.
Stoner Corner. Let's see. My whole life smells like weed. It's good fucking weed, though. Yeah, mostly it is. And holy smokes, dabbing with the Lord. And I brought just a little short clip video.
Oh, you did? Oh, it's got a clip. I didn't see that. You're going to have to warn me. I'm getting slow on
Sometimes
the draws.
I bring stoner
Apparently
videos.
1 in 3 people are stoned right now.
That's not me.
Well, it's not me either.
That means that's 1 in 3 people are stoned. She's dazed.
That's me.
That's
me.
funny. That's funny. And as usual, we did it again, everybody. I had some help here. Chanda and I happened to pick the same book. I'd already had it in the deck. But Shitlit Book Club recommendations for this week was all this This is all the shit I can't afford. And it's got Joe Biden on that shopping cart sign saying, I did that. And yes, you did. At least you helped. And then, of course, one of my favorites here, and it's way past time for you to fuck off, Anthony Blinken. You are a scourge to society. You are terrible. And here we are with Hollywood Go Fuck Yourself. We got a couple of these here tonight. Chanda, what is this one here? Is this P. Diddy?
Oh, P. Diddler. God, this story just won't stop, right? But I'm just here to tell you, if P. Diddy is the one in the fucking news, there's somebody much higher than him that is being protected. So, yeah, but this is something I just wanted to point out. P. Diddy's mansion in the Holmby Hills is 1 minute from Playboy Mansion's compound, and there's rumors that there's underground tunnels connecting the two properties. Now, absolutely, I believe this 100%. When you go deep diving down the whole fucking rabbit hole that is the Playboy Bunny rabbit hole, it's very, very sick. And he was the original. He was one of the OGs of the honey trap and blackmail from the 70s, back with Cosby. And it goes so much deeper than this. I mean, it's even multi-tiered, because they even have the value cheap knockoff mansion with the class 3 girls that go work those ones for, the middle class guy who wants to feel like a big baller. Like, this shit is insane. So Diddy, it is what it is. Just know, if they threw him out there, there's a reason. They protect these guys. They protected him for the last 25 fucking years, just like they do with Epstein. So as much as
until they get
I like
tired of
following
him,
up,
like they did with Epstein. Yeah.
Right. There's a reason they have put him on the chopping block. Doesn't mean they're going to stop. Doesn't mean even if he got prosecuted that it would stop. These rings will continue on till we, call it out for what it is. When
you bring this next one, remind me to grab my barf bag.
Barf? She's coming to Spokane. Ellen DeGeneres announces first stand-up tour since 2018. Get your tickets. Apparently it's not selling very well, and she chose the weirdest fucking places to go to. Spokane. Portland, and a couple of places in California, it looked like. I saw her lineup somewhere the other day.
Yeah, that's it.
Who would go see Ellen?
Washington,
the same
and
person
Oregon.
that would pay $10,000 for a plate to go see Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris.
The problem is the Pacific Northwest is shit lib hell. It is shit lib hell, and that's who she's catering to.
Shit lib hell.
That's who she's catering to. Now this one, we made it, but this one's the last one for tonight. And I've got to tell you, World Central Kitchen, we are aware of reports that members of the World Central Kitchen team have been killed in an IDF attack while working to support our humanitarian food delivery efforts in Gaza. This is a tragedy. Humanitarian aid workers and civilians should never be a target, ever. And Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk, puny God man, says this is really disturbing news. And he's got a little cry face down here.
Disturbing.
I could not let this go. So I wrote, Mark, I long to continue holding you in high regard for your acting skills. I didn't add that. Your talent as an entertainer has always been something I deeply admired. Moreover, I've harbored sincere sympathy for the personal hardships you've faced. His brother got killed some funky way. It was terrible. Yet, it deeply pains me to convey that your recent comment is not only distressing, but also profoundly insensitive. Please let us aspire to be greater empathy and understanding. Thanks. And that's the nicest way I can chide somebody for being so horribly insensitive. And I don't know if it helped or other people encouraged him, but he has changed it up a little bit this week since he put that out, and he's been a little bit more...
I give them no credit.
Yeah, well, I want to like the guy, but Hollywood, fuck Hollywood.
Then don't go to the Oscars. Do a public protest and say, I'm not going in that genocidal fucking building with these fucking maniacs. Instead, he wears a button, and then he goes and prances around and says, look, we're wearing buttons.
I hear you. I know, Chanda.
I just find it virtue signaling bullshit. Like, you
Yeah,
can make
it
real
is.
stances with the platforms that they have instead of this fucking catering bullshit.
Yeah, he's about protecting water and a bunch of other good causes, and I hope he's putting money out there because obviously.
I've always had a problem with these celebrities. When I went
know.
to the People Summit and I had a little too much to drink and it got late, they were the first ones I went after. Like, I was cussing about. I mean, I just like, I appreciate that you look down on us poors and you want to help us. I do, but you're going about it the wrong way. You could do it so much better with the platforms that they hold. Is how
They're
I
living
feel
a bubble. They live in. They don't have to live like we do. They've got people who bring their groceries and everything else. God, Angie Harmon, you know, I believe it's Angie Harmon. She got a delivery service to bring her groceries or something to her house, and the delivery driver shot her dog last week.
Oh my God.
And I'm going, are you fucking kidding me? So
well, I guess don't invite people over to your house, and maybe they won't shit your dog.
Well, it was a
maybe
delivery.
Go to the grocery store on your
it
own.
was
That's all
grocery
I'm
store
saying.
delivery driver. Are you kidding me, man? You know, I know. We hear
But
about
the cops are allowed to shoot.
Cops
your dog,
do
so
it. Well, not in my property. That's
they do it
terms
all
for
the
war.
fucking time.
Yeah,
Did you see the video going around where the pig was chasing the pig?
No, yeah, that was pretty.
That was funny. Come on, I didn't bring it to any of my shows, but it was a funny video.
It
Maybe
was.
I'll
It
find
was.
for
It
Monday.
was humorous. Anyway, we made it through the show in good time, perfect time, as a matter of fact. Give an update on what we're going to do this week, and check to see if we got any rock fins.
Because we have the most amazing supporters, and you guys have helped us out so much. And I see you out there, Crazy Puppet. Hey, Crazy Puppet, what's up?
Hey, Crazy Puppet.
Anyways, we have upgraded my studio so much. I am in the new studio. I'm in vMix. I am launching Monday morning, and we've got the Shadowcast now. So the slide deck is not going to be, it's separated. We're not going to have sound problems. It's amazing. And so I'm back on regular schedule and probably going to start doing a lot more things now that I have every issue that I've been dealing with for years out of the way now.
Yes, and I'm knocking
sure I'll get
on
new
wood.
ones.
Knocking on wood that we've got it all sorted. It's a challenge. That being said, I am trying to put together a show with engineers and producers of live streaming of people who work for like Jimmy Dores and other folks like Pasta, Combo Couch, Kim Iverson. I'm trying to put together a show, hopefully week after next, or the next week. But we're going to have some guests, and Chanda is going to be one of the guests, so it's not a fucking sausage factory. So if there's any other female
I get invited to Sausage Factory.
Female engineers would like to join, just send me an email. I'm going to invite our production expert, Executive Linda. I doubt if she'll come, but she may hang out in the chat. But we're inviting some selected engineers, and if it goes off well, we'll do this by monthly, maybe.
So what is your goal? Like to trade secrets, to bitch about audio?
It's not going to be a slam fest. It's going to talk about what it takes to do a real production and do streaming, and some of the challenges that you're encountered when you're working for somebody as an engineer and they're the host, and things that these hosts don't necessarily see that's very common among engineers, and ways to correct these situations, build a better rapport, and some tech on how to do streaming, even possibly building streaming computers. It's a big category. Now that the studio's done, time to work on the P chair. Okay, I want to work on that P chair. There's Snorky. Thank you. Anyway, and then we will be back. I don't have next week's thumbnail ready for the show for Beauty and the Boomer next week because we're going to try and switch it up. Aram and Linda and I are going to be working on that Tuesday, but Shanda's got her shows Monday, Wednesday, and then you'll be back next week, right? Next for Beauty and the Boomer. And we are going to go.
I will,
what?
Anna.
What? Somebody say something? Your cat?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, thank you all so much for putting up with me, and we've enjoyed it. It's been a great evening. I think the show went pretty good. We didn't have too many glitches, I don't think. So, Chanda, last words?
Yeah. That's what we live for. No, I'm just so thankful that I'm finally back up and running, and thank you so much. I know you don't like it when I thank you, but I have to thank you. You have bent over backwards to make sure that I'm up and running for Monday morning, and I look beautiful. You guys noticed the new camera tonight. I'm not tracking crazy. My camera's not out of focus 20 billion times. And my sound is going to be awesome on Monday. So thank you.
It's just getting better, and it's my pleasure.
It is.
You're a great friend and a fantastic partner in this. You work harder, or as hard as anybody in our lane. So that's just the way.
Visualize it, I guess.
Anyway, we're going to go out with some classic Toto, and these are terrific covers. I hope you enjoy them as much as I did. Remember, Exit Reels, which is our outro, will be premiering tomorrow morning at 10:15, but you guys get to see it first right now, right here. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Love you.
drums echoing tonight, but she hears only whispers of some quiet conversations. She's coming in 12:30 flight. The moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melody. He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you. Gonna take a lot to drive me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never The wild dogs cry out in the night as they go restless, longing for some solitary company. I know that I must do what's right, sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened